enters, and immediately Chaitanya Mahaprabhu checks the pride of Advaita Acharya. That is how Krishna bestows mercy onto the devotees. Srishti Adi Karite O Diyachena Shakti Shashti Karile Okeha Na Kare Virukti. He gives the power to create. So he awards punishment. No one can. So if he awards punishment, no one can protest. So only Krishna can award punishment. Reward, punishment. That is only given by Lord. Whatever punishment or reward we are seeing in this material world is not the real punishment. The real punishment is only given by Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 2.6.32 it is stated, Sujami tan yuktoham haro harati tadvashaha. By his will I create and Lord Shiva destroys. In the Vishnu Puran, Lord Brahma speaks as follows. Yasya prasadat hamachyutasya bhutaha prajasrishti karo antakari. Krodhascha rudraha sthiti hetu bhuto yasmatcha badhye purusha parasmat. So by the mercy of that infallible Lord, Brahmaji says, I create the material universe. Rudra, who appeared from Lord's anger, annihilates the entire creation. And Vishnu maintains. In the Mahopanishad, it is stated, Sa Brahmanaha Sujati Sa Rudrena Vilapayati. So the Supreme Lord creates progeny through Brahma, annihilates them through Rudra. Matsyadi Rupi, in the Vamana Purana, it is stated, Matsyadi Rupi Poshayati Narsimha Rudra Samsitaha Vilapayed Virinchistha Sujayate Vishnu Avyaha. The inexhaustible Lord Vishnu maintains through his various forms like Matsya, annihilates through Narsimha and Rudra, and creates through Brahma. Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. Krishna tells in the scriptures, Krishna clearly says, Natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. Krishna doesn't do anything directly. Krishna does through his energies. And creation, maintenance, destruction. Creation and destruction, Krishna does through his own Kalavatara, that is Brahma and Rudra. And himself he maintains, that is through Vishnu. Vishatiti Sarvatraha Vishnu. Three Vishnus, Karadakshai, Shirudakshai, Garbhodakshai, Shirudakshai. And Krishna maintains all the universe through his avatars. When Krishna appears for a particular purpose. There's always a purpose behind every avatara. He himself appears, but in his avatara form, he maintains. Ram Adi Bhavadi O Krishna Dandapaya Prabhu Sevekera Doshakshamaya Shamaya Sadaya. Consorts like Lakshmi and personalities like Shiva also receive punishment from Krishna. Yet the Lord always forgives the offenses of his servants. Lord punishes his consort also. Any pride enters, immediately there is a punishment. We also know in Rasa Leela how Krishna leaves the Rasa Leela and goes, and all the gopis search because they had a pride that we are able to control Krishna. The moment the pride enters, Krishna cannot tolerate the pride. Everything he can tolerate, but not the pride. And pride unto whom? Those who are receiving less mercy. Then it's not good. Like you have a lot of prasad in your plate. And you are having the pride that I am having the special prasad. I have so much in my plate. See, the other person is not having. Or you have a lot of seva. You are allowed to do a lot of seva, but other person is not allowed. Immediately will you show the pride unto him? It is like in the hospital, there is a diseased patient, two diseased patients entered. one diseased person came out of the hospital, he got cured. The other diseased person is yet having the IV going in his body. So will the person who is now discharged, will he show the pride? And if he shows the pride, what will happen? The other person is in morose. So in the same way, when you have received a mercy, never show the pride to others. Like sometimes out of pride, a person can say, I am an initiated devotee. So what? One should have more sympathy, more compassion onto those who yet has to come in this stage. Or one should help others in bringing others, those who are in the queue, should bring them to Krishna consciousness. You should have more compassion. That is what is given here. So when the gopis had this pride, Krishna left that arena. And Krishna lives along with Radharani. And when Radharani also has this ahankara, a small ahankara enters in her also consciousness. I am able to control Krishna than any other gopi. Krishna loves me than anybody else. This type of consciousness is there. Krishna leaves even Radharani and disappears. He unmanifests himself and all the gopis are crying. They realize their mistake. So Krishna can tolerate everything, but not pride. अपराध देखी कृष्ण यार शास्ति करे जन्मे जन्मे दास से ही बलिरा तुम्हारा. If Krishna punishes one for his offense, then I tell you that he is a servant of Krishna birth after birth. So Krishna can punish whom? Krishna can punish only his own ones. Like mother punishes her own child. Mother will not punish somebody else's child. When Krishna considers the person as his own, then Krishna offers punishment to him. And what is the punishment? Krishna unmanifests himself. And the devotees search Krishna and they realize that the mercy which we got by serving Krishna is not there now. So the service is reduced. Immediately the devotees realize, oh, I have done a big aparadha. But here Krishna, it is very nicely stated by Vrindavan Das Thakur that when Krishna punishes somebody for his offense, that means he is servant of Krishna, birth after birth. Tiya uthiya kar snana kar aradhana, naika tumar chinta karah bhojana. Now get up, Advaita. Perform your worship. Take your meal without anxiety. So just see. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, whoever Krishna considers himself, then he gives punishment. The same way, whoever Guru considers as good as himself, his best servant, then Guru has authority to scold the devotee. The Guru will not scold all the disciples. Only few fortunate souls are there who receive direct order from the spiritual master, instructions, as well as punishment. Punishment, scoldings by Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru, it's actually mercy. Understand, one considers him as his own. That is why he has authority to scold. Why he should scold an outsider? So here is said, now again in mood of so much of compassion Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has for Advaita. He says, now get up now. Now take bath first. Go and take bath. Perform your worship. Eat nicely. Take your prasadam without anxiety. Prabhura vachana shuni Advaita ullasa. Dasera shuniya danda haila badahasa. On hearing the words of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Advaita became very joyful. Realizing that he was punished as a servant, he laughed. This is the word he was hankering to hear. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says this, that if Krishna punishes someone, then I tell you that he is a servant of Krishna birth after birth. So immediately Advaita Acharya is so joyful that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has accepted him as his servant. Ekhana se bali natha tora thakurali nachina Advaita range diya karatali. Now I can say, you are my Lord, Advaita exclaimed, and he danced in ecstasy. Because till now, so much of reverence Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is showing to Advaita, Advaita Acharya is frustrated. So, this is the Leela of Lord, where Advaita wants to hear that he is servant and he is dancing in ecstasy. Prabhura Ashvasa Shuni Ananda Vivala Pasharila Purvayata Virala Sakala. So when Advaita Acharya heard the assurance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, assurance words of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was overwhelmed with ecstasy. And he forgot the previous distress he had felt during the separation. Sakala Vaishnava Haila Parama Ananda Thakane Hasena Haridasa Nityananda. All the Vaishnavas felt great ecstasy. Haridas, Nityananda, everybody began to laugh. So all the Vaishnavas are very, very happy that Advaita Acharya is pacified by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and also Advaita Acharya got what he wanted to, what he was hankering for. He was always hankering to hear that he is the servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, birth after birth. Oh, Saba Paramananda Leela Katha Hase Katha Rase Keha Keha Vanchita Haila Daiva Doshe. Due to misfortune, some people are deprived of relishing the topics of these most ecstatic pastimes of the Lord. Now just see, Vrindavan Thakur says, only because of misfortune, some people cannot relish these subject matters. Chaitanyera Prema Patra Shri Advaita Raya Ye Sampati Alpa Hena Bhujaya Maya. So Advaita Acharya is a recipient of Chaitanya's love. Due to illusion, some people consider such opulence as insignificant. So the previous line is very important. Because of misfortune, some don't relish this wonderful topics of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with his devotees. And Advaita Acharya is a recipient of Chaitanya's love. Again, some people out of illusion think this is very insignificant. Guru's mercy is not insignificant. Chaitanya's mercy is not insignificant. It's so much of blessings and fortune is there, then a person gets the service of one spiritual master. People who are under the influence of Maya consider Advaita Prabhu, who was the recipient of Mahaprabhu's love, as a rich person with insignificant wealth. How is he a rich person? Why he needs all these things? This is just an insignificant wealth. Alpakari namani manika Alpakari namaniha dasa hena nama Alpabhagye dasa nahi kare Bhagavan. Do not think that servant implies insignificance. The Lord accepts one as a servant if he is less fortunate. The Lord does accept one as a person, as a servant, if he is less fortunate. Ignorant, materialistic Mayavadis think that to become Prabhu or master in this world is most desirable, because a servant has to suffer like an obedient dog. Therefore, a master is always comparatively more respectable than a servant. Those who have no intelligence to discriminate between the characteristics of Vaikuntha and characteristics of the material world are certainly unfortunate and devoid of piety. This is again a very important statement. In the material world, yes, master controls the servant. And a master has a higher position than the servant. But in the spiritual world, if someone is considered as servant, then he has got the highest position. The servant of Lord is the highest position. There cannot be any other position more higher than this. That is why it is not considered as insignificant. In fact, that has a lot of significance. If a person is considered as a servant of Lord, then he has got the highest position in the spiritual world. But people of less intelligence, they think that becoming master is more important. Those unfortunate people who consider the ordinary demigods as equal to the devotees of the Lord, the deity form of Vishnu as equal to a piece of stone that is trodden under the feet of cows and asses, the spiritual master as a mortal being, the holy names and mantras of Vishnu as ordinary words, the devotees of Vishnu as belonging to a particular mundane community, the water that has washed the feet of Vishnu or the Vaishnavas as ordinary water, the Vaishnavas as belonging to a particular status in accordance with their non-devotional qualities. In other words, those who categorize the devotees of Vishnu according to their varnashrama status, their age, their beauty, their wealth, are bound by 8 material ropes and oppressed by 6 types of material miseries. So very clearly it has been said, demigods cannot be equal to the devotees of Lord. Devotees of Lord don't hanker for any position. Demigods have always got a position. They are worshipped. Devotees never hanker for any worship. A deity of the Lord is not a simple stone. And the holy name of Lord is not an ordinary word. And also devotees of the Lord, they never belong to a particular community. Pure devotees, caste and community is not asked for. And also the water which has washed the feet of Vishnu and Vaishnavas, they are not ordinary water. So in this way, those who cannot understand Vaishnava's status, they always suffer. The 8 miseries, 8 ropes, they are bound and they will suffer with the 6 types of misery. The consideration that objects of material enjoyment are equal to the remnants of the Lord takes one to hell. So remnants of the Lord, that is prasadam. Prasadam is not an ordinary food. When we were distributing prasadam in Corona time, every day 1,000 people, 500 people, like this, we used to feed them according to the requirement. Different padas is to order us. They used not pay anything. We used to not ask anything. Free food distribution. But it was not an ordinary food. We used to offer and we used to give with great faith. To such an extent, it went to the places where these prostitutes also stayed. For that time, they lost all their hopes. Many people lost their work. And in this way, they were helpless. So we used to provide them. So then there was a felicitation ceremony organized by Member of Parliament Gopal Shetty. So this Gopal Shetty ji asked me to speak some few words because we were given the Corona Warrior Award. So then I went to the stage and I told that we never distributed any food. So what you have mentioned is wrong. We have not distributed any food. What we have given is prasadam. Prasadam is Krishna's mercy. There is a lot of difference between prasad and an ordinary food. If we think the remnants of Lord to be equal to the objects of material enjoyment, then that is the very nice pathway to hell. Such classes of people try to equate the service of the Lord with the service of the material objects. Again, service of Lord requires a lot of fortune. It is said, if you are not Krishnadas, you become Mayadas. Since such impersonal conceptions of such unfortunate persons prevent them from realizing that the service of the Lord is eternal, full of knowledge, uninterrupted ecstasy, and that the service of the Supreme Lord is the propensity of all spirit souls that are deprived of spiritual enjoyment. And since they are intoxicated by material enjoyment and unable to see the distinctions between Lord and his devotees, They imagine that everything is impersonal. So comparison between Ananda and Sukha is actually the most unfortunate thing. Sukha is always flickering. Sukha is related to the material objects, one sense enjoyment with the material senses. But Ananda is the uninterrupted ecstasy. Unfortunate fruity workers are covered and thrown by the material conceptions created by Maya. Only living entities who are endowed with piety worship the Supreme Lord. So, not realizing that service to Sachidananda Lord is the eternal propensity of the eternal spirit souls, who are spiritual particles of the spiritual whole. So, what happens? Miscreants who are induced by three kinds of false ego waste the human form of life. So, service to Krishna and service in the outside world has a lot of difference. Service to Krishna gives the bliss, uninterrupted ecstasy. What service we do to enjoy our senses, that is a flickering happiness. Therefore, if one object becomes master, engages another object in his service, such distinctions cause the living entities inconvenience. O foolish, quarrelsome followers of the various branches of Vedas, rather than remaining in your own branch, glorifying your own qualities, describing the faults of others, thereby falling from the platform of the spiritual truth, absolute truth, by imagining that all bodies are independent of Vishnu, and by considering that Vishnu is a product of matter, take shelter of the Ekayana branch of the Vedas. What is the Ekayana branch? Ekayana branch of the Vedas has removed the misfortune of the followers of the various Vedic followers. Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kurunanda. There is only one occupation. Whatever injunctions have been given in the Vedas is to support this one occupation, that is service to Krishna. O less fortunate persons, do not forget your service to the Supreme Lord. Due to material knowledge, longing for the service of Vishnu will result in auspiciousness for you. So we should always hanker for the service. And when the service is there, we should consider ourselves fortunate and indebted to all those who are supportive in this service. Unfortunate people commit offenses by finding fault in others. Since by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, the Lord's servants do not have any faults. They engage in the Lord's unalloyed devotional service based on the Ekayana path. The Supreme Lord, who is a reservoir of all transcendental qualities, is fully spiritual. Therefore, do not consider the spiritual truth is subject to being covered and thrown by the illusory energy, or that it is covered, affected by material faults and qualities. Maya Javani Kachannam. Kunti Maharani speaks, Maya Javani Kachannam. One's consciousness is covered by Maya. It is not that Krishna is covered by Maya. Krishna can never be covered by Maya. Like the sun can never be covered by cloud. Our eyes are covered by cloud. The omniscient embodiment of spiritual ecstasy, an ocean of unlimited transcendental qualities and auspiciousness, Shyam Sundar is the devotee's object of worship and most dear Lord. The endeavor to become dear to that most dear object is called dasya or servitude. So what is the meaning of dasya? A dear object. Who is a dear object of Krishna? The one who is always serving Lord. He is a dear object. And the endeavor to become dear to that dear object, that should be the dasya bhava. The inauspiciousness that people who take intoxicants invite due to proudly identifying themselves as the enjoyers of material objects is diametrically opposite the mood of service to the worshipable object. So here also, one is intoxicated with the mood of service, but it is completely opposite. What to speak of this? The topics of servitude culminating in impersonalism described by Shri, the spiritual master of Apyaya Dikshita, are abominable and cannot be applied to the devotees of Vishnu. The topics of servitude and philosophy of Shri Shaiva Vishishtavadi, which imitates impersonalism, that are found among those who are not devoted to Vishnu, are simply indications of their misfortune. Impersonalistic conceptions can never devote those who have received the qualification to engage in the Lord's service. So Shaiva Vishishtavada, and then there are impersonal philosophies which have been given by different acharyas of Mayavad philosophy, Mayavad cult. All of them are understood to be the most unfortunate people. And those words never enter in the ears of the devotees who are always eager to serve Krishna wholeheartedly. Serving Krishna, serving Lord's devotees, hankering to take every dust of the devotees of the Lord, that should be the desire. So here we'll stop. Any questions you can ask. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.